It's my privilege to join you on this long-awaited day. I wanted to start by saluting and thanking the driving forces that we know as Laura Davis and Carolyn Barbado. Each, of course, was a student here in 1970. Each became a respected member of our faculty, and each was instrumental in creating the world-class facility that we dedicate formally today.
We welcome all of you who experienced and were deeply touched by May 4th, and those of you who feel a strong bond to what happened on our campus 43 years ago. And we are truly thankful that you're here with us today. Thank you.
I just came from a tour of the Visitor Center, and I was struck by many things, which we'll go into, but one of them was a letter that was posted on the wall from a young man who wrote these words: "A teenager from a small Ohio farm clutches his side in pain and feels his life ebbing away." He wrote this in 1966. He wasn't writing about Kent State, he was writing about Vietnam. And the author was Jeff Miller, one of the 4 who died that day. In some ways, he saw what his life was going to be, and he saw what was going to matter in the next several years of his life. One thing I liked the best about it is it put the events of what happened here in 3 or 4 days into context. They made it clear it wasn't about that one day, it wasn't about that one incident, but more important, it wasn't just about Kent State. I love the map that showed all the college campuses where the uproar happened. I think for students today, this has got to seem alien to them. There's just not this kind of engagement, this involvement, certainly not the violence on college campuses, but mostly engagement is what I'm concerned about.
Memory about that war, the Vietnam War, is essential to understanding our position in the world today. Of course, the protests of the 1970s play a huge role, and so Kent State is one of those things that happened that really made a difference, was a game changer also in the protests against the war. It's quite strong stuff, and it's very important for kids to see this, for a new generation to understand the anger on both sides. The polarization that we now have, that supposedly in our country, is evident here, quite evident. And I want to, in my remarks tonight, I want to refer to the climate of the time, to give the young people, I hope, a memory of what it was like to be in this country in 1970.
I'm honored that you, after so many years of doing this, have asked me here today to commemorate the lives of 4 students who fought to understand something they did not understand.
When you stand on the slope and you see the distance down to the parking lot, there was no need to, it seems to me very clearly as an infantryman, there was no need to fire. It seems that the need to fire came from built up anger and frustration. I'm glad the protesters protested. I'm glad they had a conscience. I'm glad the students of America, not just as Nixon called them, the bums, but normal-looking Midwestern students were able to express their outrage. These 4 kids meant a lot to the conscience of this country. They died for a reason, a sacrifice, and that has to be remembered, because if you say that no one's responsible and it was just a misunderstanding, it's an insult to their memory.
The challenge, it seems to me, for a place like Kent State, which is now stuck in kind of the national narrative, is to do something with that, and that's what this visitor center does. And it doesn't look away from its history. It doesn't say, well, that was an aberrational moment that we have gotten past and we've now moved on. It doesn't raise the buildings. You haven't raised the buildings and tried to erase a shameful time, but you've taken it and done what a university should do, which is turn it into a learning experience.